Hey, what's up everyone? Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse, and I'm filming this the day after the 28th edition of the Fantasia Film Festival came to a close. 18 days and 24 films later, my peepers are tired. I need a few days to just catch up on things and going back to my normal routines. But before I do that, I wanted to share mon coup de cœur, which means my favorite in French. All the movies I saw this year at the fest, and it's something I had no expectations for, so that made it even more of a surprise how delightfully fun the whole thing was. And I speak of a Canadian creature feature movie directed by Vivieno Caldinelli and written by Brendan Cohen, based on his 2021 short film titled Scared Shitless, which is about a plumber named Don, played by Stephen Hogg, and his germophobic son Sonny, played by Doheny, who's been experiencing severe germophobia since the death of his mother. As a way to help his son out, Don makes Sonny an apprentice plumber for his next job, fixing the toilet of an old sweet lady at the Palmer estate, the concierge of which, Patricia, played by Chelsea Clark, happens to be an old acquaintance of Sonny's. Also living in the apartment complex is Professor Robert, played by Mark McKinney, a government scientist who has smuggled a top-secret and live experiment into the apartment complex after an explosion destroys his lab. This genetically engineered, bloodthirsty creature escapes into the plumbing system and starts snacking on the residents. What seemed like a fairly straightforward unclogging job for Don and Sonny quickly becomes a fight to stay alive and help stop this creature before it's too late. What pops at you right away at the beginning of Scared Shitless is how sweet the relationship is between father and son. Since the death of his wife and his mom, they only have each other to rely on. Don just wants the best for his son, and that relationship is felt throughout the movie. So yeah, the chemistry between Stephen Hogg, who's so rad in this and also killed it in another movie premiering that night at Fantasia, the horror wrestling movie Dark Match, which I'll get to reviewing eventually. And Danielle Doheny, who plays Sonny, the son Sonny, is pretty solid. You get attached to them right away. We got Mark McKinney from Kids in the Hall playing the professor, who thanks to his blinding love for his creature he brings home to protect, that eventually turns on him. It's a very Mark McKinney role, if you know what I mean. He's done this kind of role many times before, and probably could do them in his sleep by now. And I'm not saying this to disparage his performance. It's exactly what you get from him for a role like this. There's Sonny's friend, Patricia, the concierge at the building, whose family owns the Palmer estate, played by Chelsea Clark. Both have good chemistry together, and she becomes more involved in the third act to catch the creature. Other tenants in the building, there's a cam girl that Don helps with her plumbing, and then gets more than she bargains for. And this old married couple that tries to spice up their sex lives is something that really cracked my shit up. In fact, I don't usually do this, but I wanted to share the alternate thumbnail I was thinking of using for this video. I actually turned to my buddy Francis from Spooky Celluloid and jokingly said, that's the money shot right there for the thumbnail. All this to say, this is a very game cast, and they know exactly in what kind of movie they are. Think of 1988's The Blob, Tremors on a smaller scale, or the classic 1975 Montreal shot David Cronenberg directed Shivers, but funnier. The creature was created by Canadian practical effects genius Steve Kostanski of Astron 6 fame. His last movie was 2020's Psycho Goreman. Funny enough, he also had a new movie premiering at Fantasia this year, Frankie Frico, which is a bit more out there than Scared Shitless. Also, his first movie, 2011's Bandborg, is featured in the opening scene of the movie. Here he created a disgusting, slimy creature you can see featured in the thumbnail. Lots of goopy kills and buckets of bloods are spilled. There's not as many poop jokes as you would think there would be in a movie like this featuring toilet uncloggers. They are kept to a minimum, but it's not to say there isn't toilet humor. Like, say for example, we do see some fat dudes hanging testes that gets feasted upon. And I want this image seared into your brain as I slowly zoom in on it. If you're a big fan of 80s era practical effects, human bloodshed, and monster goopiness, you'll be served right by this movie. Also, on the music side, all the needle drops featured in Scared Shitless are classic Canadian rock tunes. The movie was done on a very small budget. Some of the kills are done behind closed doors, heard not seen, and there's some CGI that's noticeable, but all that's forgiven when you have such a fun movie like this. So do I recommend Scared Shitless? Obviously I do. It's one of my favorite movies of 2024 so far. As a dumb, goofy horror comedy, the film knows what audiences want. This is a really tight script that at 77 minutes long doesn't overstay its welcome and gives you a quick bite of entertaining ridiculousness, nothing more, nothing less. It's 80s creature feature movie nostalgia that leaves you all warm all over. The movie's at best when we see Dawn and Sunny together trying to work their way through one crazy night. There's several good comedic moments and bad puns, great practical effects by Steve Kostanski and his team, good cast, and just silly fun overall. It's goopy, gory fun, and a Canadian creature feature classic in the making. And you know what? I really wanted to do well because they already had a sequel in mind. The movie ends in a way that a sequel would be pretty fucking sweet to see. I feel like this is too good to just end up right away on a streaming platform like Shudder. Nothing against Shudder, but this needs a theatrical release and needs to be experienced with a crowd of people. So that was my review for Scared Shitless. Go visit all my socials at Grindhouse Funhouse in the comment section below. How about you let me know what is your favorite bloody, goopy, gory creature feature movie? As always, thanks for watching, and I'll say to you, ciao bye for now.
Shit happens.